Okay, so continuing with the introduction to the Caitanya Caritamrita, which was originally lectures by Prabhupada in 1968. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavari Paschatya Desa Tarane. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is from the introduction. It is not that Radharani is separate from Krishna. Radharani is also Krishna, but there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Without energy, there is no meaning to the energetic, and without the energetic, there is no energy. Similarly, without Radha, there is no meaning to Krishna. Without Krishna, there is no meaning to Radha. Because of this, the Vaishnava philosophy first of all prays obeisances and worships the internal pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. Thus the Lord and his potency are always referred to as Radha Krishna. Similarly, those who worship Narayan first of all utter the name of Lakshmi as Lakshmi Narayan. Similarly, those who worship Lord Ram first utter the name of Sita, Sita Ram. Radha Krishna, Lakshmi, Narayan, potency always comes first. Radha and Krishna are one, and when Krishna desires to enjoy pleasure, he manifests himself as Radharani. The spiritual exchange of love between Radha and Krishna is the actual display of Krishna's internal pleasure potency. Although we speak of when Krishna desires, just when did he desire we cannot say. We only speak in this way because in conditioned life we take it that everything has a beginning. However, in spiritual life, everything is absolute. There is neither beginning or end. Yet, in order to understand that Radha and Krishna are one, and that they also become divided, then the question when automatically comes in mind. When Krishna desired to enjoy his pleasure potency, he manifested himself in the separate form of Radharani, and when he wanted to understand himself through the agency of Radha, he united with Radha, and that unification is called Lord Chaitanya. This is all explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj in the 5th verse of the Caitanya Caritamrita. In the next verse, the author further explains why Krishna assumed the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna desired to know the glory of Radha's love. Why is she so much in love with me? Krishna asked, what is my special qualification? What attracts her? And what is the actual way in which she loves me? It seems strange that Krishna, as the Supreme Lord, should be attracted by anyone's love. A man searches after the love of a woman because he's imperfect. He lacks something. The love of a woman, that potency and pleasure, is absent in the man. Therefore, the man wants a woman. And this is not the case of Krishna, who is full in himself. Thus, Krishna expressed surprise. Why am I so attracted to Radharani? And when Radharani feels my love, what is she actually feeling? To taste the essence of that loving exchange, Krishna made his appearance in the same way that the moon appears on the horizon of the sea. Just as the moon was produced by the churning of the sea, by the churning of spiritual loving affairs, the moon of Lord Chaitanya appeared. Indeed, Lord Chaitanya's complexion was golden, just like the luster of the moon. All this is figurative language. It conveys something that is the meaning behind the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. In full significance of his appearance, that will be explained in later chapters. After offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, Krishnadas Kaviraj begins offering them to Lord Nityananda in the 7th verse of the Caitanya Caritamrita. The author explains that Lord Nityananda is Balaram who is the origin of Mahavishnu. Krishna's first expansion is Balaram, a portion of whom is manifested as Sankarshan, who then expands as Pradyumna. In this way, so many expansions take place, although there are many expansions of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Krishna is the origin as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. He is like the original candle from which many thousands and millions of candles are lit. Although any number of candles can be lit, the original candle remains its identity as the origin. In this way, Krishna expands himself like so many forms, and in these expansions are called Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu is a large light, and we are small lights, but all are expansions of Krishna. When it is necessary to create the mature universes, Vishnu expands himself as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu lies down in the causal ocean and breathes all the universes from his nostrils. Thus, from Mahavishnu and the causal ocean spring all the universes, and all these universes, including ours, float in the causal ocean. In this regard, there is a story of Vamana, who, when he took these 3 steps, stuck his foot through the covering of the universe. Water from the causal ocean flowed through the hole in his foot made, and it is said that the water became the river Ganges. Therefore, the Ganges is accepted as the most sacred river of Vishnu and is worshipped by all Hindus, from the Himalaya down to the Bay of Bengal. Mahavishnu is actually an expansion of Balaram, who is Krishna's first expansion in the Vrindavan pastimes, his brother. In the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Ram refers to Balaram. Since Lord Nityananda is Balaram, it also refers to Nityananda. This Hare Krishna, Hare Ram addresses not only Krishna and Balaram, but Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as well. The subject matter of the Caitanya Caritamrita deals primarily with what is beyond this material creation. The cosmic material expansion is called Maya, illusion, because it has no eternal existence, because it is sometimes manifested and sometimes not. It is regarded as illusory. But beyond this temporary manifestation is a higher nature, as indicated in the Bhagavad Gita. I need a little water. But beyond this, parastasmad tu bhavanyo vyakto vyaktad sanatana yaksar sarveshu bhuteshu magdatim labate param. Nasyatsu na vinashati. Just a little bit. Yes, there's another unmanifested nature which is eternal and transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains that it is. The material world is manifested state, vyakta, and a potential unmanifested state, avyakta. The supreme nature is beyond both the manifested and unmanifested material nature. Thus, superior nature can be understood as a living force, which it presents in the bodies of all living entities. The body itself is composed of inferior energy, nature, matter, but it is the superior nature that is moving the body. The symptoms of that superior nature is consciousness. This is thus in the spiritual world, where everything is composed of the superior nature, everything is conscious. In the material world, there are inanimate objects that are not conscious. But in the spiritual world, nothing is inanimate. There's the table is consciousness. The land is conscious. The trees are conscious. Everything is conscious. It is not possible to imagine how far this material manifestation extends. In the material world, everything is calculated by imagination or by some imperfect method. But the Vedic literatures give real information of what lies beyond the material universe. Since it is not possible to obtain information of anything beyond this material nature by experimental means, those who believe only in experimental knowledge may doubt the Vedic conclusion. For such people cannot even calculate how far this universe extends, nor can they reach the far into the universe itself. That which is beyond our power of conception is called achintya, inconceivable. It is useless to argue or speculate about inconceivable. If something is truly inconceivable, it is not subject to speculation or experimentation. Our energy is limited and our sense perception is limited. Therefore, we must rely on the Vedic conclusions regarding the subject matter which is inconceivable. Knowledge of the superior nature must simply be accepted without argument. How is it possible to argue about something to which we have no access? The method for understanding transcendental subject matter is given by Lord Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna tells Arjuna in the beginning of the 4th chapter, Imam Vishvashate Yogam Proktabam Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manyave Praha Manyur Ikshvakave Bravit. I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. 4.1. This is the method of parampara, or disciplic succession. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Krishna imparted knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created being, within the universe. Brahma imparted these lessons to his disciple Narada, and Narada imparted that knowledge to his disciple Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva imparted to Madhvacharya, and from Madhvacharya the knowledge came down to Madhavendra Puri, then to Ishvara Puri, and from him to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. One may ask that if Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself, why did he need a spiritual master? Of course, he didn't need a spiritual master. But because he was playing the role of an acharya, one who teaches by example, he accepted a spiritual master. Even Krishna himself accepted a spiritual master, for that is the system. In this way, the Lord sets an example for men. We should not think, however, that the Lord takes a spiritual master because he's in want of knowledge. He is simply stressing the importance of accepting the disciple's succession. The knowledge taught in that disciplic succession actually comes from the Lord himself. And if the knowledge descends unbroken, it is perfect. Although we may not be in touch with the original personality who first imparted the knowledge, we may receive the same knowledge through the process of transmission. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated that Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, transmitted transcendental knowledge to the heart of Brahma. Then, in one way, this then is one way knowledge is received, through the heart. Then there are two processes by which one may receive knowledge. One depends directly on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and who is situated as a super soul within the heart of all living entities. And the other depends on the Guru, the spiritual master, who is the expansion of Krishna. Thus Krishna transmits information both from within and without. We simply have to receive it. If knowledge is received in this way, it doesn't matter whether it is inconceivable or not. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a great deal of information given about the Vaikuntha planetary systems, which are beyond the material universe. Similarly, a great deal of inconceivable information is given in Caitanya Caritamrita. Any attempt to arrive at this information through the experimental knowledge will fail. This knowledge simply has to be accepted. According to the Vedic method, Shabda, or transcendental sound, is regarded as evidence. Sound is very important in Vedic understanding, for it is pure. If it is pure, it is accepted as authoritative. Even in the material world, we accept a great deal of information sent thousands of miles by telephone or radio. In this way, we also accept sound as evidence in our daily lives. Although we cannot see the information, we accept his information as valid on the basis of sound vibration. Then it's very important in the transmission of Vedic knowledge. The Vedas inform us that beyond this cosmic manifestation, there are extensive planets in the spiritual sky. This material manifestation is regarded as only a small portion of the total creation. The material manifestation includes not only this universe, but innumerable others as well. But all the material universes combined constitute only 1/4 of the total creation. The remaining 3/4 is situated in the spiritual sky. In that sky, innumerable planets float, and they are called Vaikuntha Lokas. In every Vaikuntha Loka, Narayana is present with his 4 expansions, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. This Sankarshan states Krishnadas Kaviraj in the 8th verse of Caitanya Caritamrita as Lord Nityananda. As stated before, it is the form of Mahavishnu that the Lord manifests in the material universe. It is from Mahavishnu. It is the form of Mahavishnu that the Lord manifests in material universes. Just as a husband and wife combined to get offspring, Mahavishnu combines with his wife Maya from material nature. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva yonishu konteya murtaya sambhavanti ya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. That form of Mahavishnu is Sadashiva, which is basically non-different. He contacts the material energy. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed-giving Father. Vishnu impregnates Maya, the material nature, simply by glancing at her. This is a spiritual method. Materially, we are limited to impregnating by only one particular part of our body, but the Supreme Lord, Krishna, or Mahavishnu, can impregnate by any part. Simply by glancing, the Lord can conceive countless living entities in the womb of material nature. The Brahma Samhita confirms that the spiritual body of the Supreme Lord is so powerful that any part of his body can perform the functions of any other part. We can touch only with our hands or skin, but Krishna can touch just by glancing. We can see only with our eyes. We cannot touch or smell with them. Krishna, however, can smell and also eat with his eyes. When food is offered to Krishna, we do not see Krishna eating, but he eats simply by glancing at the food. We cannot imagine how things work in the spiritual world where everything is spiritual. It is not that Krishna does not eat or that we imagine that he eats. He actually eats, but his eating is different from ours. Our eating process will be similar to his when we are completely on the spiritual platform. On that platform, every part of the body can act on behalf of other parts. Vishnu does not require anything in order to create. He does not require the goddess Lakshmi in order to give birth to Brahma. For Brahma is born from the lotus flower that grows from the navel of Vishnu. The goddess Lakshmi sits at the feet of Vishnu and serves him. In this material world, sex is required to produce children, but in the spiritual world, a man can produce as many children as he likes without having to take help from the wife. So there is no sex there. Because we have no experience with spiritual energy, we think that Brahma's birth from the navel of Vishnu is simply a fictional story. We are not aware that spiritual energy is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. Material energy is dependent on certain laws, but our spiritual energy is fully independent. Countless universes reside like seeds within the skin pores of Mahavishnu. And when he exhales, they are all manifested in the material world. We have the experiences of such a thing, but we do not experience we have no experience of such a thing, but we do experience a perverted reflection in the phenomena of perspiration. We cannot imagine, however, the duration of the breath of Mahavishnu, for within one breath, all the universes are created and annihilated. This is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma lives only for the duration of one breath, and according to our time scale, 4,320,000,000 years constitute only 12 hours for Brahma, and Brahma lives 100 of his years. Yet the whole life of Brahma is contained within one breath of Mahavishnu. This is not possible for us to imagine the breathing power of Mahavishnu, who is but a partial manifestation of Lord Nityananda. This the author, Lord Caitanya Caritamrita, explains in the 9th verse. But the 10th and 11th verses, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, successive plenary portions of Mahavishnu. Brahma appears upon the lotus growing from the navel of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and within the stem of that lotus are so many planet systems. Then Brahma creates the whole of human society, animal society, and everything. Kshirodakashaya Vishnu lies on the milk ocean within the universe, of which he is the controller and maintainer. Thus Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and when the time for annihilation arrives, Shiva will finish everything. The first 11 verses of Caitanya Caritamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami thus discusses Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Sri Krishna himself, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Nityananda, as Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna. Thus, in the 12th and 13th voices describes Advaita Acharya, who is another principal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Thus, Advaita Acharya is also the Lord, yet, or more precisely, an expansion of the Lord. The word Advaita means non-dual, and his name is such because he is non-different from the Supreme Lord. He's also called Acharya, teacher, because he disseminated Krishna consciousness. In this way, he is just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, he appeared as a devotee to teach people in general how to love Krishna. Similarly, although Advaitacharya is the Lord, he appeared just to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Thus he is also the Lord incarnated as a devotee. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna is manifested in 5 different features, known as the Panch Tattva, to whom Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his obeisance to the 14th verse of the Caitanya Caritamrita. Krishna and his associates appear as devotees of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas Pandit. In all cases, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a source of energy for all his devotees. Since this is the case, if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the successful execution of our Krishna consciousness, we are sure to make progress. In the devotional song, Narottam Das Thakur sings, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. There is no one who is as merciful as you. My plan is most urgent because my plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver all fallen souls, and no one is more fallen than I. Therefore, I beg priority." With verse 15, Krishnadas Kaviraj begins offering his obeisances to Krishna himself. Krishnadas Kaviraj was an inhabitant of Vrindavan and a great devotee. He had been living with his family in Katwa, a small town in the district of Burdwan in Bengal. He worshipped Radha Krishna with his family, and once when there was some misunderstanding among his family members about devotional service, he was advised by Nityananda Prabhu in a dream to leave home and go to Vrindavan. Although he was very old, he started out that very night and went to live in Vrindavan. While he was there, he met some of the 6 Goswamis and the principal disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was requested to write the Caitanya Caritamrita by the devotees of Vrindavan. Although he began this work at a very old age, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, he finished it. Today, it remains the most authoritative book on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy and life. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living in Vrindavan, there were not very many temples. At that time, the 3 principal temples were those of Madan Mohan, Govindaji, and Gopinath. As a resident of Vrindavan, Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his respects to the deities in these temples and requests God's favor. My progress in spiritual life is very slow, so I'm asking your help. In the 15th verse of the Caitanya Caritamrita, Krishnadas offers his obeisances to the Madan Mohan Vigraha, the deity who can help the progress in Krishna consciousness. In the execution of Krishna consciousness, our first business is to know Krishna and our relationship with him. To know Krishna is to know oneself, oneselfy. And to know oneself is to know one's relationship with Krishna. Since this relationship can be learned by worshipping the Madan Mohan Vigraha, Krishnadas Kaviraj first establishes a relationship with him. When this is established, in the 16th verse, he offers a base of the functional deity, Govinda. The Govinda deity is called the functional deity because he shows us how to serve Radha and Krishna. The Madan Mohan deity simply establishes, I am your eternal servant. With Govinda, however, there is actual acceptance of service. Govinda resides eternally in Vrindavan. In the spiritual world of Vrindavan, the buildings are made of touchstone. The cows are known as Surbi cows, givers of abundant milk, and the trees are known as wish-fulfilling trees, for they yield whatever one desires. In Vrindavan, Krishna herds the Surbi cows, and he is worshipped by hundreds and thousands of gopis, cowherd girls, who are all goddesses of fortune. When Krishna descends to the material world, this same Vrindavan descends with him, just as an entourage accompanies an important personage, because when Krishna comes, his land also comes to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is considered to exist beyond the mature world. Therefore, devotees take shelter of Vrindavan. In India, for it is considered to be a replica of the original Vrindavan. Although one may complain that the kalpavrikshas, wish-fulfilling trees, exist there. When the 6 Goswamis were there, kalpavrikshas were present. It is not that one can simply go to such a tree and make demands. One must first become a devotee. The Goswamis would live under a tree for one night only, and the trees would satisfy all their desires. For the common man, this may all seem very wonderful, but as one makes progress in devotional service, all this can be realized. Vrindavan is actually experienced as it is by persons who have stopped trying to derive pleasure from material enjoyment. When will my mind become cleansed of all hankering for material enjoyment, so I'll be able to see Vrindavan? The great devotee asked. The more Krishna consciousness we become, and the more we advance, the more everything is revealed as spiritual. Thus Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami considered the Vrindavan in India to be as good as the Vrindavan in the spiritual world. And in the 16th verse of the Caitanya Caritamrita, he describes Radharani and Krishna as seated beneath the wish-fulfilling tree in Vrindavan, on the throne decorated with valuable jewels. There Krishna's dear gopi friends serve Radha and Krishna by singing, dancing, and offering betel nuts and refreshments, and decorating their lordships with flowers. Even today in India, people decorate swinging thrones and recreate this scene during the month of July and August. Generally at that time, people go to Vrindavan and offer their respects to the deities there. I saw one family yesterday. They had a swing, they had their children dressed as Radha and Krishna, and the mother's swinging on the Parikram trail, because so many people going on Parikrama. Then they might get some donations. Finally, Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his obeisances to the readers of his, in the name of Gopinath deity, who is Krishna, the master and proprietor of the gopis. When Krishna played upon his flute, all the gopis or cowherd girls were attracted by the sound and left their household deities, and then they came to him. He danced with them. These activities are all described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. These gopis were childhood friends of Krishna, and many were married. For in India, the girls are generally married at the age of 12 or younger. The boys, however, are not married before 18, so Krishna, who was 15 or 16 at the time, was not married. Nonetheless, he called these girls from their homes and invited them to dance with him. That dance is called Rasa Leela dance, and it is the most elevated of all the Vrindavan pastimes. Krishna is therefore called Gopinath, because he is the beloved master of the gopis. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami petitions the blessings of Lord Gopinath. May that Gopinath, the master of the gopis, Krishna, bless you. May you become blessed by Gopinath. The author of the Caitanya Caritamrita prays that just as Krishna attracted the gopis by his flute, the sweet sound of his flute, he will also attract the reader's mind by that transcendental vibration. That ends the introduction. I'm going to stop there. I see more and more new people coming, but I get exhausted. So next will be chapter 1. The spiritual masters. There's a long summary, so I'm not going to try to read the whole thing. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be